If you guys ever change out all your lights to LEDs and you want to change out the turn signals and you got a problem like this where it's rapidly flashing, or sometimes they'll just stay on. That's another issue if you change your turn signals to LED. So what you got to do is either get a relay, like this, and it's for LEDs. That will change that so it won't flash or get stuck on. Another option you have is to buy some resistors. Now with the resistors, you'll have to cut into the turn signal wire and cut into the ground and put this in between it. And what that will do is it will create a load onto the turn signal to tell the vehicle that yes, there's a bulb there and to flash the correct way, because it flashes fast because of the low current, thinking the bulb is burnt out. This fixes that problem. These are $6 if you want to go that route, but I figured I don't want to cut into the wires. I just want to leave everything stock without messing it up, so I just went with the relay. Now if you have a Bravada, mine's a 99, the relay is actually under the passenger side in this panel right here. It takes two bolts in there, and you unscrew those, and your relay will be on this side in the corner. They really don't want this to fall out, so they put this green strap on there, and you can see the relays right there. I don't know if it's focusing, sorry. And then there's a clip on the right side of it too to hold it in, so you kind of got to try to move that out of the way with your hand and get it out of there. Here's the old one. This just uses the regular standard bulbs. And when you take that out, you got to notice that this single peg is pointed towards the top. And that's the clip I was talking about. You have to move out of the way to take it out. So now I'm going to install the new one, the flasher for LED. And apparently it holds up to 150 watts, so you should be able to put standard bulbs in it still. This should work with just normal turn signal bulbs in. I only got 2 in right now just so that it actually rapid flashes, because when I had it full LED it was just staying on and I wasn't getting any turn signals. So until I got this, that's what I was doing. So I'm going to put this in. I'm going to see if that fixes the issue, but I'm going to take the standard bulbs back out and put the LEDs in. So after getting the relay installed, which I don't know if I mentioned, that the relays are $10 and the resistors are $6. So there's not a big difference there, but you save a lot more time taking the little panel off and changing it out than having to go into the front of your car or the back of your vehicle and splicing in all those and putting them together. And the resistors have to go on metal, or they have to be free in the air, zip tied, which I wouldn't even bother with that. That wouldn't be a great thing to do. Anyway, now that I got that relay in there for the LED flasher, now they're back to normal. So it's a heck of a lot brighter. Do the other side. Perfect. Might cost a little bit more, but I think it's easier to install, and there's no extra battery use, because with the resistors you are creating a load to trick the computer of your car to think that it's standard bulbs, which then they're just dissipated as heat, when you could just buy a relay and it doesn't do that. It just has a lower resistance to make the relay work, so it's just better off using the relay. So if you guys ever wondered how to do a whole LED redo of your vehicle, you've got to have at least a resistor or a relay for the turn signals. Even changed the dome lights. Everything else, the floorboard ones are LED. Just, it's better that way, I think, and I don't have to worry about the bulbs burning out. Alright, so after putting the LED flasher relay in there, my turn signals did stop hyper flashing, but if the runner lights came on, I would have a bulb out issue, and that LED flasher did not fix that. So I went and bought a harness so I wouldn't have to modify the wires, and all it does is plug into the old socket, and it has a couple of resistors on it. Now I heard that putting the resistors on the DRL is not very good, it gets really hot. But I also heard that it only gets as hot as the incandescent bulb would. So it's just to simulate that it has an old incandescent bulb in it. So I got that one there, this one here. And all I did was make sure that there was a free spot behind the wall there where I drilled those in. Also, I bought some of this dielectric grease to put into the socket, the one that's open, just hanging there. I also zip tied that back to the plastic to kind of keep it out of the weather elements a little bit better. It's not hanging down. And now I have to test it. I still have the LED flasher in there, which it's supposed to be able to handle all the other bulbs in there anyway, if you had incandescents in there. So now I'm going to go test that out. So there's the lights, they're running lights that came with this harness, so they're white when you're not turning. Now, if I am turning, it turns orange. Got this sequence going on now. I don't know if I want to leave it that way or not. That's not a bad thing. Looks kind of cool. Now the only thing I gotta hope for is that those resistors down in there don't get too hot on the running lights. But I do like the switchbacks. I also need to try my high beams again because I moved the wires around a little bit just to try to tuck them in a little better. So I'm going to test that out quick. On the camera that you can't even tell. This looks like the whole thing is lit up. Since I'm in the shed where it turns the headlights on automatically and the running lights, I'm going to take it back outside and see if my running lights come on. If they don't, I want to test that with the turn signals too, because that worked before without the resistors, with just the relay flasher. So I'll be testing that in a minute too. It's kind of weird that it changes the sequence when you have the driver's lights off. Let's go right turn. And yes, the running light's not on. They almost blink together now. Let's say I turn the running lights back on. Now with the running lights on, those do turn on. And then the sequence changes, which is fine with me. That's going to be the night sequence, and then the day sequence is kind of close together, so I think it's just the way it puts resistance on it. And my dash isn't flashing, so that's good. Perfect. It's exactly how I wanted it to work. I don't know why the flasher itself wouldn't work, but It did slow it down without the running lights on. As soon as I turned the running lights on, it said bulb out, so I couldn't get anywhere after that. So I just thought, hell with it, I'll throw resistors in there. And with a harness, it doesn't have to modify much. You just put in a couple holes to mount the resistors up. Thanks for watching.